Hello and welcome to the Dominion Daily for May 5th, 2026. We've got a Hinterlands Kingdom today, and there is no Sook. I don't know what they're thinking, making a Hinterlands Kingdom without Sook. Seems ridiculous to me, but in any case, yeah, in fact, we have no trashing whatsoever. Which looks like it's going to be the biggest limitation here. I mean, I'm kind of joking about the Sook thing, but honestly, I feel like every Hinterlands kingdom, like at least Hinterlands only kingdom for the past while, has had Sook. And it would definitely be nice to have that here. Anyway, we do have stables and Margrave for draw, and then also there's some trail stuff that you can do for draw. In discarding one trail takes in from card negative to card neutral, and then in discarding two trails is draw. Oasis discarding trail goes from card negative to card neutral. You can react trail to Margrave just to maintain your hand size, and then you also got Cartographer. Any trail that Cartographer discards will result in some draw. So there is a lot of trail synergy. Admittedly, some of those interactions are competing with maybe like adding more valuable cards to your deck, but and then for plus actions, we've got Border Village and Inn as well as the trail stuff. So again, Oasis discarding trail will give you plus actions. Cartographer, any trail that you discard will give you plus actions. Inn discarding trails will give you more plus actions. Not the Margrave thing, of course. And then we've got gains from plus buy from Margrave and Nomads, and then Border Village. You Border Village, you get something with that. So, I do think getting a Margrave is pretty valuable, because even though you can react with trail, like it's still gonna hurt to get attacked, and like you don't necessarily want, even if you have the trails in your deck, you don't necessarily want to be actually I guess Margrave attacking enough into enough trails can actually be net draw, because you draw a card, then discard down to 3. If you have 3 trails and you play them all, then you got a 6-card hand. But first of all, you're probably not going to have that. I mean, there is scheme, like you could. But you kind of also want to see, like, you kind of also want to maybe keep those trails in hand, like, or at least not, like, I don't know. I guess it depends on if you care about the plus actions. Maybe you don't. I guess if you get enough trails and you can scheme them, like maybe Margrave actually isn't worth it. But the thing is, like early in the game, you're gonna not have that, and it is gonna be hitting. So yeah, I still think we want to get to Margrave early. Obviously, also Border Village early is good. Stables draw is going to be the main thing here, with not being able to trash copper anyway. But then ultimately, of course, the goal is going to be to play a bunch of highways. We are going to need a lot of plus actions to get the buys necessary to make that good. Margrave helps with that because it's not stop card plus buy, so that's like another reason to want to play with Margrave anyway. The other thing about Margrave Trail is you can just play a second Margrave, now that I think about it. Like, if they discard a bunch of trails, okay, they have their 6 cards, great. Now play another Margrave, and then, say goodbye to that. So, yeah. Might want to play with multiple Margraves anyway, just because we're going to want buys anyway, and we're going to need a pretty good amount of draw. We're going to need a good amount of plus actions. There's a lot of building to be done here. In terms of how to open, I mean, I think it like ideally you would probably like not to put a silver into your deck, but I could certainly see the case for just opening silver, at least one silver anyway. So we do want to be able to hit 6, or at least 5. We could just go Nomad Silver and figure, well, we're probably going to want like at least one Nomads anyway. Could go double silver even, and like, well, you know, we're planning to play with stables anyway. I mean, ultimately, right, like Highway definitely makes silver unappealing. So like the other option would be like Oasis, like Nomad's Oasis, to just try to avoid having to add treasures to the deck. Like the Nomads is one thing because it's got the +5, but silver is another thing there. Oasis is not going to be as good at hitting 6, though double silver is still not especially likely to hit 6. It's certainly possible. I think I will go with the Oasis Nomads line. Bot doing the same. Well, there we go. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and grab a scheme. I think being like having a few schemes here is gonna be potentially pretty good. The bot not only did not hit 6, but also didn't take a Margrave. Interesting. Alright, alright. Well, we're definitely getting another border village. Probably we should take a stables first over second Margrave. Probably. We don't... Right now, we don't need, like, that additional buy. And having the non-terminal draw is obviously has some benefit. Okay. We're obviously still just pretty far from drawing our deck. So do we want to just add another stables? Probably. Okay, the bot does now get a Margrave. Unfortunate, but probably inevitable. We're getting close to drawing the deck now. The bot does have 2 trails. I wonder if we should just go ahead and actually get that second Margrave now. And then start in on the highways after that. I mean, if we'd seen the Margrave, we would have pretty well drawn deck, but we are also going to start getting attacked soon, so we're going to need more draw for that purpose anyway. We do have some excess actions now. I think I will get the Margrave, yeah. Hmm. So we have 2 estates down there, and this should be another border village, right? So I think we do actually draw through here. Yep. Okay. I mean, technically that's not drawing deck, but you know, good enough. Okay. It's still the case that we could use more draw, but I would also like to get on the highways now. We could go double highway, we could go highway stables, or we could go border village highway trail. Adding a trail to our deck does add some draw, both in the form of reacting to Margrave, potentially keeping our hand size a bit bigger, and we have the Oasis as well. And there's definitely value in just having the border villages. On the other hand, if we get 2 highways right now, the next turn we could get like double border village trail or something like that. If we get 1 highway right now, we could still get double border village next turn. Well, that's an argument maybe that we don't super need 2 highways. Maybe what we actually do is go highway stables, because we don't necessarily need the terminal space either. 1 more stables is going to be more reliably helping us draw than the trail. Yeah, I think I'm going to go highway stables. And we probably should scheme a border village. It's not entirely clear. That versus a Margrave. Yeah, the thing is happening. The bot is like maintaining hand size and then having to discard it. We have a scheme down there. I think we want to trigger with the Oasis. That draws 1, stables draws 3, scheme draws the last card. We won't see our last copper, though. That's the problem. So, like, the double... if we draw with the stables first, we have 6 cards to get through. There's a possibility that we bottom deck a copper anyway. That gives us a chance to hit double border village. Not hitting double border village isn't the end of the world, though. Top decking a bad card is not necessarily a bad thing to do in the face of like the incoming Margrave attack, but the bot does only have 1 Margrave and 1 stable, so it's not necessarily going to... Yeah, I think we do it this way. Alright. So now... if we... yeah, we're going to do Border Village Highway. With 3 highways... right now we have 2. If we get a 3rd highway, Border Villages cost 3. We have 10 coins. That looks pretty nice. So yeah, I think I do want 1 more highway. I mean, obviously, we're going to continue to be at risk for not seeing, like, or for not drawing, but... okay, so we now have 4 border villages and only 2 Margraves. We do also... we could... so in terms of what we top deck, we could top deck stables, but that's a little bit awkward in its own right because of like, if we get attacked, then it's hard to hang on to a treasure. So we really want to start with Border Village Margrave. I mean, ideally, we at some point would pick up another scheme. And then we can top deck Border Village Margrave every turn. I think I'm going to top deck the Margrave. Yeah, okay. Oh. Also, we're not getting attacked. Okay, now I guess in this situation, the bot could end up drawing a trail, discarding it, and then having a slightly larger hand size due to that. Consider that particular sequencing, but... but it didn't anyway. Okay, so we have 4 buys. The bot has 3 buys. If we want... if we want to gain... we can actually empty the border villages this turn if we take a nomads, and we might want an additional buy anyway. Yeah. Alright, now we want highway. Now we don't need to avoid like having too many making stuff too cheap. Although actually, if we don't take another highway, we would be able to gain a card off the border village anyway. But whatever. I am thinking that we should take one more stables or Margrave. Like, we added a stop card in the other nomads. We have 1, 2, 3. We have 5 highways. So even if the bot gets the 3 remaining highways, that doesn't pose too big of a problem. On the other hand, having 6 highways does seem better. With 6 highways, we wouldn't have the buys, but we would have the money in our deck to... well, no, sorry. With 6 highways, we'd have the money in our deck to buy 6 provinces, which would be pretty good not to need to add much more money to the deck. Yeah, maybe it's worth not quite being able to draw in order to secure that. I think it probably is. Top deck of Margrave, since we have... well, I was going to say since we have ample villages, but we actually don't find a village here. The bot didn't even get another highway. Okay. There's a village. We underdrew by 2? Why did we underdraw by 2? Oh, because we hadn't been getting attacked. Yeah, that's annoying. Okay, we'll certainly take the last highway. Oh, we're 1 gain short of piling. Wow. We should consider getting an inn here. And, like, maybe a province. Wait. We only have 5... Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay, yeah, but I think I want to get in Margrave anyway. So we're gonna have 6 gains next turn. Not that we necessarily need that many anyway, but I think we get the last highway. We get stables, Margrave in province is what I'm thinking. I'm a little sad that we never found time for trail, but stables, Margrave in. Shuffle all of this in, I think. Well, okay, hold on. We know we have 2 coppers on top. If we assume that we're going to get attacked, we're going to top deck. We top deck Border Village, because we know we have a Margrave. Like, I'm thinking there's not much point in top decking the highway, or even the inn, really. We just go like stables, Margrave, Border Village, and if we get attacked, like, that's fine. We trigger shuffle and discard copper into that shuffle, and if we don't get attacked, then ours it's very well set up anyway. I mean, I guess. Yeah, I think we just top deck those 2. Then we take 1 province and top deck a Border Village. And we should just be winning on piles this coming turn. We're not even getting attacked. I don't actually know if we want to play that in, if we don't have to. Okay, unfortunately we're 1 gain short of emptying the provinces. I could have taken another buy, but I wanted to play it safe with not having a dud. But we'll just have to settle for 1, 2, 3, 4 stables and 1, 2 provinces. We'll top deck Margrave, whatever. Yeah, so obviously that went well. I mean, I think a big part of that was just that we hit 6 and the bot didn't. Like, we had the same opening and, you know, didn't really do anything. Also, first player, of course, always helps. But let's see. Yeah, we Border Village Margrave. The bot got trail on 4. I mean, I think that's totally reasonable. We got Scheme. The bot got a stables. Okay, there, I would have gone ahead and gotten the Margrave there. Like, early on, if the bot was attacking me with Margrave, like, by the time it actually started attacking me, it didn't so much matter for the most part. But if it had been attacking me from earlier, then it would have been harder for me to keep hitting 6. And I think that's a pretty big deal. And I know, like, okay, the bot would, at this point, would have multiple terminals, but still. And then the other thing was that I had a really nice turn 5 here. I didn't get to play the Margrave, but I did hit 6 and get to scheme a Border Village. And that was just, yeah, that was just really nice. Meanwhile, the bot only hit 4, and I hadn't even played the Margrave. So yeah, it's just, that was like, this is just highly asymmetrical. Only hit 5 this turn, but got to attack. Although actually then the bot did hit 6 after, like, after having been attacked. That's pretty ironic. But got another Border Village Margrave. The bot only hits 2 for bot. Got Highway Stables. Here the bot got Border Village Highway, but we're just already so far ahead by this point. Get Border Village Highway. Like, yeah, it's just... Yeah, I think by... If not by turn 3 or 4, then certainly by like turn 5 or 6, this game was just kind of over. And I could definitely see, like yesterday, it was kind of like the reverse situation where like both times that I played, actually, the bot hit Forge on turn 3, and I was able to overcome that the second time, but not the first time. Especially because like the second time I did hit Forge like turn 5 or 6, but the first time I didn't hit it until, I don't know, at least turn 7 or 8, if not later even. I don't know, maybe it was 9, maybe it was 7 or 8. I don't remember. But yeah, I wasn't able to overcome that. So it's like, you know, both yesterday and today are potentially the kinds of kingdoms where, you know, the bot will play it well enough to be competitive, and then it kind of comes down to shuffles, especially since in both cases there's no early thinning. Like today, obviously no thinning at all, but yesterday no early thinning. Well, unless you hit Forge turn 3, I guess. But to be able to like enable more getting control faster and having, you know, more control over the outcome. Yeah, so I wouldn't. The upshot of this is I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, with a different set of draws, if the bot would, you know, be competitive or, you know, win here, even if you played it well. But in this instance, it really didn't have a shot. Anyway, although again, I would have taken Margrave as first 5, so that's one thing. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.